What would you do if you suddenly inherited $8 million, but it turned your entire family against you? In today's story, a 19-year-old's choice becomes a masterclass in handling toxic entitlement. My grandfather, Arthur, was an estranged figure in my life, to say the least. He was my dad's father, but my dad, Mark, barely had a relationship with him. My grandma had divorced Arthur when my dad was just 10, so dad grew up with her in a different state, rarely seeing him. As Mark got older, he saw Arthur a bit more, and my grandfather would visit, staying for a week at a time. To be honest, he was an old, bitter man. He never remarried and lived his whole life in a small coastal town with the same friends he'd always had. He wasn't pleasant to be around and could hold a grudge longer than anyone I've ever met. But despite his personality, he was filthy rich. He'd owned a successful business he sold for $1 million, and his house, which sat on the largest piece of land on the island, sold for over $3 million. I was never particularly close to him, but I did take after his sister, my great-aunt Carol, who was a registered nurse and whom he absolutely adored. He often told me he was proud to see me following in her footsteps. A few months ago, Arthur died. In the time since, my family has been completely torn apart, because he left everything to me. He had liquidated all his assets, and the final sum was close to $8 million. I was shocked, and I still don't really know what to do with it all, but my immediate plan is just to save it and be smart. The problem is my dad Mark, my stepmom, and my siblings are hounding me to split the money with them, and I just can't bring myself to do it. My father is an alcoholic who never had a single nice thing to say about his own dad. This reveals Mark's greatest fatal flaw, an insatiable greed, completely blind to his own hypocrisy, which would ultimately sever his relationship with his own daughter. What makes it worse is that despite how bitter he was, my grandfather had actually bought my dad a $300,000 house, a fact my dad conveniently forgets. I know with absolute certainty that he would drink away any money I gave him in a heartbeat. As for my siblings, my older brother, Leo, has full financial support from our grandma. He's her favorite, but he's incredibly wasteful and ungrateful. He never speaks to me unless it's to be mean. The only person I have even considered giving money to is my little sister, Sophie. She's only 13, and her youth is the main thing stopping me. Her mother, my stepmom, is extremely money-oriented and would undoubtedly find a way to take the money from her. So, I've decided to wait until she turns 18, and I've already offered to pay for her entire college education. But this isn't good enough for them. My family is now telling me I'm unfair, that the money doesn't belong to me, and that I'm not deserving of it. They claim I'm too young and will just waste it on cars and clothes. They're all threatening to cut me off, to never speak to me again, and even to sue me if I don't give them each a huge chunk of the inheritance. They made their threat, believing it was their ultimate weapon. They were completely unaware that for me, this wasn't a punishment, but the beginning of my freedom. I'm buckling under the pressure, but I know I have to hold firm. The harassment has escalated to the point where my dad has called the police to my house twice, claiming I stole the money from him. Each time, I calmly presented the officers with the paperwork from Arthur's attorney. Each time, they informed my father this was a civil matter and that I had done nothing wrong legally. Seeing the look of impotent rage on his face as the police left solidified my resolve. I did nothing wrong legally, but the moral guilt was eating at me. It was then I started looking at what others thought of situations like mine, and a comment I found really put things into perspective. It said, "Lawyer up. If they're gonna sue you, you might as well be prepared." Another person echoed this, advising I find a good lawyer and an accredited financial advisor to plan and save. This advice felt like a lifeline. These strangers on the internet understood my reasoning was sound. They saw that when money is involved, people's true colors come out. One comment gave me the perfect solution for my sister, Sophie. They suggested, if you want to give your sister money, you can set up a trust for her. That way she can't touch the money until she is 18. The money for her education could be paid directly to the school, so her parents couldn't touch it. This was the answer. I could protect my sister and my inheritance. My grandfather may have been a grumpy old man, but he saw something in me. My family's actions have only proven that his decision was the right one. They don't see me, they just see dollar signs. This story is a powerful reminder that wealth doesn't create character, it reveals it. True family will celebrate your fortune, not try to steal it. Have you ever had to choose between your own well-being and the toxic demands of family? Let us know in the comments below.